Hi everyone, this is Mr Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for tuning into this latest video. Just to give you some background, so this client attended with bilateral reduced hearing, really impacted earwax. They had been treated elsewhere on the high street on a couple of occasions, but without joy. And the patient was due to go back again, I think at the end of the week. And they were instructed to use some sodium bicarbonate earwax drops, and over the weekend the patient felt the right ear, which is the ear that we're in now, the symptoms had exacerbated. So what had happened is the drops had either got in behind the plug of wax, creating a puddle, which is obviously water doesn't conduct as well through water as it does air, so sound doesn't travel through as well. And or this plug of wax had absorbed the sodium bicarbonate drops and expanded and swelled and created more of a blockage. The patient didn't want to go back to the high street, came across my YouTube videos and decided to book themselves in. So this plug of wax, it's lodged, I can just tell it's lodged, it's matted. So I've just gone in with the ear hook. I have to be really careful. The patient did find it slightly uncomfortable, although we're not making contact with the ear canal, you can see, but it's just this plug was so hard and impacted when you're removing the plug. I've had nasal packs up my nose before, and when they're removed out of your nose, it's the worst feeling ever. It's almost like your brain is being sucked out through your nose. It's a horrible sensation. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. And I imagine for the ear, similarly, people sometimes have that same experience as I do when you have nasal packs up your nose. When you're removing this wax out of your ear, it could potentially feel like your brain's being pulled out your ear. It's a horrible sensation. And it's a bit like when you go on I remember when I went Alton Towers, which is a theme park in the UK, there's a ride called the Oblivion, and you're watching, whilst you're queuing up, you're watching this ride, and it's literally a vertical drop. And it lasts a couple of seconds, that's all it lasts. When you're watching it from afar and you're watching other people on the ride, it lasts a couple of seconds. But when you're on that ride, and you're kind of securely seated and you're vertically dropping, it feels like forever. It doesn't feel like a couple of seconds yourself. And I suspect as well, when you're removing plugs, it's a similar thing with the nasal packs. When that's being removed, it feels like it's going on for hours, but literally it's seconds. Anyway, we got the patient treated very quickly indeed. Patient was just relieved. He wasn't expecting me to be able to remove it as quickly as I did, because so far they've had, he's had an hour's treatment to attempt to remove the wax to no avail. So just using a fine end tip just to remove some of the dead skin. See, there's a bit of bruising, blistering there, so I think that's been done from his previous procedures. It's fine, it's healed, just move some dead skin around there. So the patient felt the right ear, this ear was the worst one out of the two. However, for me it was the left one that was the worst. And the reason why I've called the video and the thumbnail a hook and grab is obviously as I've used an ear hook and it just grabbed it out of the ear. So this is the left ear, and I found this ear a bit more challenging. It's a bit more narrow, there's a bit more cilia, some hair. The ear canal's a bit more twistier. You'll see that once I remove the plug. So what I've done first, there was a bit of soft wet wax near the entrance, so I'm just using a Zollner suction probe to vacuum that, and I can see this plug, and I'm just trying to see if I can get a suction grip to bring this forwards. You can see this plug of dead skin wax that's matted. It is moving, it's wriggling around, but it is lodged, it's trapped. So not only is it trapped around the second bend of the ear canal, so we have two bends, we have one at the end, near the entrance about a few millimetres in, and we have the second bend about 1 centimetre into the ear canal. We also have a narrowing, so where that second bend is, so around 1 centimetre into the ear canal, is where the cartilage portion of the ear canal, the outer third, and the bony part of the ear canal, the inner two-thirds, meet. It's the juncture. It's called the osseo-cartilaginous junction, and you get a narrowing there. So this plug of wax is not only trapped around the bend, it's also trapped and lodged behind this narrowing. So I just used an ear hook, managed to remove some wax out there, but it didn't come out in one big mass like it did on the other side. So there's just some soft wax again, so I'm just mopping that up with the ear hook, and that's just helping me visualise the wax because the ear is quite narrow at the entrance and there's a few hair. So I wanted to mop up any wet debris. Whilst I'm in there with the Zollner suction probe, I just want to see if I can lever and manoeuvre this, tease this plug of wax out. So it's not coming out, but I've created a bit of a gap and I have brought it forward slightly, which will allow me in a moment to re-enter with the ear hook and remove it in 2 segments, I believe. So I'm just trying to look for an opening, and I've just spotted one anteriorly, so to the left is the front part of the ear canal. There's a bit of a gap there. I can glide the ear hook in, and also at the roof of the ear canal there's a bit of an opening now. So I'm just going in with the ear hook. So I'm just going to the roof of the ear canal. Because we're on the cartilaginous portion of the ear canal, I can apply some pressure to the roof of the ear canal. It's the cartilage portion, which is semi-flexible and it's semi-sensitive. So we still have to be careful, but we can apply a bit of pressure. And now that I'm in the ear, I just rotated this hook and I've managed to get a big plug out there. But there's still another big plug of this. I would say it's wax, but also a lot of dead keratin, dead skin. You'll see, like in the right ear, once I removed the wax, the patient had a bit of otitis externa, a bit of dry skin. So here I've just got the ear hook and I'm just initially to the base of the ear canal. I dug into it and tried to glide this plug of wax forwards, and then I went back in again. There was a wider opening on the anterior parts of the front part of the ear canal, so I just glided the ear hook in and yeah, got that plug of wax out. So you can probably see from the ear canal here, it's a bit more twistier. So here's the first bend and it goes to the left. So the camera is looking straight into the ear canal and you can see the view I've got is to the back part of the ear canal. So I'm having to then rotate the eye clear scope, the endoscope, with my wrist to the left so I can visualise the eardrum to go around this bend. So it's a lot more twistier than the first ear. Just some dead keratin and wax at the roof of the ear canal. So I thought, whilst I'm in there, let's get this out. So I'm just hovering over. I want to avoid contact with the bony part of the ear canal. Just some dead keratin here. And I'm just going to mop up near the entrance in a moment. But there's the patient's tympanic membrane, nice and healthy. You've got a light reflex. The light reflex is the endoscope light that we're shining into the ear to illuminate it. For most people, if you've got a healthy eardrum, this light, this torch, reflects back off the pars tensa, so the main body of the eardrum. There's the plugs of wax, looks like meatballs, you can see. And I actually weighed this, so it's 516 milligrams. So it didn't look like much wax, but it actually, the density was quite a lot. It was quite a heavy 3 plugs of wax. It weighed a lot. So it's just over half a gram. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and you're all having a nice evening, and I shall speak to you all soon. Thank you, bye.